Oh, oops. Sorry. Hey guys. Wrong segment.
Yeah, wrong segment, guys.
Sorry. Anyways.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? Today's episode, we are talking about and breaking down the very final episode of Season 7
Bruh.
of Game of Thrones.
Bruh. Bruh.
Oh my god, so good. So this is the Dragon and the Wolf. I mean, no better title. I mean, that title is pretty self-explanatory about basically what we get in this episode.
My god. My good.
So what we're gonna do is that this episode of Game of Thrones was 81 minutes long. So there's a lot to talk about.
In response to that,
we're gonna break this up
breaking
into
this
two
up
parts.
to 2 episodes. So watch this first part and then watch the second part. Let us know what you guys think. What we can do better for next season. So on and so forth, or what we can do for Stranger Things or Walking Dead once we get to it. But anyways, let's nosedive straight into this ice pool.
Yeah, let's just jump straight.
Let's start it.
We're just gonna jump straight into Westeros and pick up right at King's Landing at the very beginning of the episode. We see Grey Worm alive and well.
Hey, they managed to march halfway across the continent.
Yep. Well, I mean, I was about to say, I really would love to know how far Casterly Rock is away from King's Landing.
Think San Francisco or something like that.
To LA kind of thing.
No. Actually, like LA to say, like Birmingham. Like I'm
the whole country away.
Probably. That's the
Casterly
western.
Rock is
that's the westernmost point of
I
think.
I mean, that's pretty far if that's the case. But anyways,
I'm guessing, but
yeah.
maybe.
Anyways, so there's a lot to go through. The first thing we see the Unsullied army and the Dothraki at the gates of King's Landing, basically ready to wreck shop in case this meeting doesn't go well. The meeting is of basically Daenerys' followers and
Jon
and Cersei's followers.
So basically, every single major character that isn't dead.
Yeah. So we have on Cersei's side, we have Cersei, Jaime, Bronn, the Mountain, and then Euron Greyjoy. And then, of course,
Dany, Jon,
and then what's the name of the
Qyburn?
Qyburn, yeah, Qyburn. He's there as well. And then we see
Dany,
and then for Dany's team we have Dany,
Jon, Tyrion, the Hound, Jorah, Brienne, Pod,
and
Missandei.
I think that's pretty much everybody important.
Well, Varys was there too.
Oh yeah, Varys. Yeah, Varys is important.
Literally, like too many people to name, but literally everyone except like Sansa, Arya, Bran, Littlefinger, and Sam.
Oh, I was about to say, did we say Brienne? Because Brienne was there too.
Yeah.
And Brienne. Okay, so they all meet up at the Dragon Pits outside of King's Landing to discuss the neutrality of the two forces, so that they can focus their attacks on and their attention on the White Walkers and the impending arrival of the Night King, because they want to stop them as soon as possible. And so we have a really cool, like right out the gate, like we have a really cool standoff between the Hound and
Clegane Bowl, basically confirmed.
Yeah, if that doesn't happen in season 7, it's gonna happen. But like, if that doesn't happen, I'm gonna be majorly.
You mean
upset.
season 8?
Yeah, sorry, season 8. Sorry.
But yeah, dude, like,
I love how he made that made that jab at him, and he's just like,
he's
like,
coming for you.
Well, not even that.
Oh, you're uglier than me?
He's like, now you're uglier than me, and I'm like, because remember, the Mountain was the one that burnt his face.
Yeah.
So, and we also see, so that was really cool. We
the
also
awkward
see
reunion of the Hound and Brienne.
Well, it actually wasn't too awkward. Yeah. Remember, because Brienne basically tossed his ass off a mountain, and Arya left him there to die. And basically, there's no beef between any three of these characters.
Am I the only one that got like a happy parent vibe when they like when they were talking?
They were both grinning ear
when
to
they
ear.
were talking about Arya. They were like, That's my little killer.
Well, Arya was like, what was it? Was not Arya. Was it Brienne or the Hound who said that basically the only person that needs to be protected is the person that's standing in Arya's way, basically.
I want to say it was Brienne.
I want to say it's Brienne because, like, it was Brienne because she she faced off against her in that little sparring match, and they were.
And then the Hound
matched.
Then the Hound said, "Yeah, it's not gonna be me."
He's like, I'm never gonna be standing here.
Nope.
I would love to see like the three of them like together on screen. Like I feel like it's unfortunate. Like I feel that won't happen because of. I really hope it does. I really hope we can see like the Hound, Brienne, and Arya.
It's gonna happen sometime next season.
I hope.
I mean, with all these, like we have literally, like all the major characters going towards the Night King. Like, I mean, we're gonna get some special moments next season. I really can't wait.
But within this meeting, there's a lot discussed. I mean, Cersei's basically, for lack of a better term, she's basically pissed that she's even spending the time to even sit down and talk with them.
Because she thinks this whole thing is
it's a ruse. She thinks it's basically
a bad joke. It's a wet nurse story, and that this whole thing's a lie until the Hound walks up with one of these things on his back, plants it down, and the whole scene of him getting the walk out of the box, I was thinking this seems a little comical a little bit.
Well, not even so much comical. I was actually more of the mentality that I'm like,
it's going to be dead.
What if it's going to be dead? And then now this whole, I was like, now they're going to have this meeting, and luckily everything went basically according to plan, like as you would want it to happen, and that was very not refreshing, but surprising for Game of Thrones. But what I really meant though is that. Not about the whole meeting where they're going to show off the White Walker. My thing is actually how Cersei's basically like she doesn't care because she's so she wants the throne, and she knows that just sitting down and talking about this is just basically a waste of time because she's like, basically you want me to pull back and and give you something when you're still going to come back and, cause me problems. I'm like, I understand where Cersei's coming from. And then when, like you said, when they release the White Walker and it comes through and they basically show how they chop its leg off, they chop its arm off, they set the arm on fire, and then use the dragon glass to basically kill the White Walker, how much it took for them in steps, just like dismembering it, killing it, whatever, to prove a point. To show that it's basically hard to
the
kill.
whole reason that the Hound cut it in half is so they could have a how-to for dummies manual, basically. Like, John's like, okay, we can burn them with fire, or we can kill them with dragon glass.
Right. So, it's also to show that basically, you can cut them in half, and like they're still going to keep coming.
Something that a third option he didn't say because he didn't think. There were 3 people there that have Valyrian steel swords: John himself. Brienne, and Jaime.
Right.
And that's the third thing that can...
Valyrian steel, dragon glass, and fire. I mean, there's a lot of ways, but the problem is it's not so much that they have what they need to kill him with. It's the fact that you need the numbers to combat how large of an army they have. And that's the other thing, too. You need to have a well-trained army because all the people that get killed will then... raise up in numbers, like those people then come back as and I'm not gonna get to my point about the fact that they've got large numbers yet. I'll save that till we get to it towards the end. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I think that's actually gonna be saved for part 2, if for our part 2 video. But anyways, so the biggest takeaway from this meeting, which it really didn't come to any surprise to anyone watching this episode, but basically Cersei's like, okay, I'll agree to neutrality between the two of us, but she's like, you got to basically, John, who's technically, since he's the king of the North, he's actually
in open rebellion.
He's in open rebellion against Cersei because Cersei is the queen of the 7 kingdoms, and so the North being one of the 7 kingdoms, the North being one of the 7 kingdoms, basically, he's like, if you stay out of it, then the North is fine.
And then,
We won't mess
then
with you.
John's like, well, about that, I kind of can't.
Kind of can't
I
do that.
kind of can't do that because I've already bent the knee to Daenerys, and
He bent the knee laying in bed with wounds.
PG. Keep it PG, buddy.
No, I meant like no. I'm being for real. He in the last episode, he's sitting there with his wounds after he was saved from the ice lake, and came back to
Danny, take care of me.
Incest. Oh God.
Here they come, ladies and gentlemen.
There's gonna be a lot of like incest jokes, I guess. They're coming, and it's
like winter. They're on their way.
There will be a blizzard, and it's coming straight from Jon Snow. Anyways, it's not the Night King you have to worry about bringing the blizzard.
Boy,
Anyways,
boy, he went there.
So Cersei gets pissed because obviously she knows that with Jon with the North and Cersei, not Cersei, but Dany with her 2 armies. And her allies, that basically they're hosed. Like right now, if they wanted to, they could probably, because they're right there at the gate. I'm surprised.
Rush the city.
I'm surprised that
take it.
I'm surprised. I'm like, it would have been such a smart move. I mean, I know they were trying to use Jon's very honorable, and he wouldn't have gone. Like he would have been feeling some type of way about it. But with her showing up with the dragons and everything, they could have torched like the Mountain and Cersei
Everybody.
and Jaime,
but
and Euron, and then they could have had the Unsullied and the Dothraki armies just invade.
So
they would have lost some men, but they would have probably won and taken out Cersei.
But after the White Walker gets dismantled, Euron walks up and pretty much says, yeah, these guys can't swim, so I'm going back to the Iron Islands because...
Oh, well, no, that's what's funny is he asks, he's like, can they swim? And he's just like, no. Because
he's like, okay, I'm out. I'm gone.
He's like,
I'm gone. I've been around
Cersei.
the world. I've been around this whole place, and this is the only thing that scares the crap out of me. I am gone. See ya. Bye-bye.
I mean, I don't blame him. I'd probably be the same way. Take your money and run, dude.
He tucked his tentacles between his body, and he left.
So, but then we see a really kind of pivotal scene, which we're going to talk about this more, but Tyrion finally, takes a moment. He looks at Dany. He's like, listen, this didn't go well. He's like, you should have lied. And that's probably, actually, you want to say, you had mentioned about your favorite scene, which we'll get to because it's not coming up yet. But, we're actually about to talk about it because you actually mentioned it on our pre-production meeting. But one of my favorite meetings is basically Jon going there and talking and telling everybody when they're like, you could have just lied. And he's just like, listen, he's like, you can make fun of me. He's like, because of the fact that
you can say
he's
that
like, my father was
that
my father
Ned died and stuff like that.
Yeah, and he's like, basically, you guys don't understand. If we keep lying and we keep doing this, he's like,
one line's
it's just going to build upon it. It's going to
Yeah.
build upon another. And he's like, I'm going to stay honorable and true to my word. And he's like, that's how I was raised, and that's my father's way. And I'm like, I commend him for that. Like that's one of the reasons why Jon's probably one of my favorite characters, if not probably my favorite character in the show. And in Game of Thrones in general, because he is a honorable man in a dishonorable world. Like everybody else is like out to get you or betray you or whatever like that. And so it's very hard to find, someone that's just that, honorable like Jon. So anyways, moving on from there, you want to bring it up, the whole Tyrion and Cersei meeting?
Tyrion decides to go into Emmy mode, and
what mode?
Emmy mode.
Oh my god!
He goes back to the trial scene and just pulls it out. Peter Dinklage, you are one of my favorite actors because of that.
Just man crushing over there on Peter Dinklage?
A little bit. I love me some Tiny Half Man.
Well, we're gonna discuss this because it's something that you can pick up on in this episode. But basically, Tyrion comes into the meeting and he's sitting there in Cersei's private chambers, and it's the Mountain towering behind him with his hand clasped on his sword, and Cersei behind her table. I mean, he's in the lion's den. He's one stroke away from getting
literally and figuratively.
Yeah, he's literally one stroke away from death. I mean, just this one word away.
And I mean, the whole time he's trying to plead his case to Daenerys. I mean, did I just say Daenerys? Yes, I did. Cersei, and say I didn't kill Joffrey. Yes, I killed father, and yada yada yada. And then he just kind of gives up on it and says, you know what, Cersei, you're right. I killed everybody. It's my fault that you don't have a mother. It's my fault that you don't have a father. If it wasn't for me, you'd have both of your beautiful children. Then he turns right around to the mountain and just says, kill me. Do it. Come on, I'm right here.
Pulls a full Joker. He's like, hit me, do it. Like, hit me, like, just end it.
And seriously, and he basically calls her bluff and says,
No. You're thinking of somebody else. You could tell she was ready because she's been wanting that revenge since season 4 when he killed Tywin, and when she thought that he killed Joffrey. She was the one that got the bounty put on his head and everything, and going forward. And a lot of dwarves that were in the kingdom, remember, they were rounding up people who were of shorter stature, and they were bringing them in and cutting off their heads and bringing them to Cersei. Remember that back in like season 4 and 5, or actually, it
was like the first episode or second episode of 5.
And so we saw a lot of that stuff, and she was about ready, but then she realized that it took a lot for him to come in there and basically put his life on the line, and then him bringing her the glass of wine. And, as a way of saying, like, truce, but basically she's finally come to a point where she's like, you know what? What he's saying, he didn't kill Joffrey. Yes, he killed Tywin, but, there are bigger things at stake here. And she realizes that maybe she doesn't want to kill him as much as she thought. And, they are family. So, I mean...
let's finish with this, and then I'll do what I was thinking real quick, and then we can.
Yeah.
But so anyways, while this meeting is going on, Dany and Jon are talking to each other, and she basically tells Jon that this is the beginning of the end. This is where the beginning of the end started with my family. We had these majestic creatures, and we chained them up here. And she goes on this spill about that she can't have kids and
challenge accepted
and everything. Yeah, basically. and everything. And he's like, you really think that she was a reliable source of information? Like, basically, like, oh, really? Okay.
Jon's just trying to slide into those DMs. That's all he's trying. That's all he's trying to do. He's like, hold my beer. I got this.
But that was a very. I mean, for those two, that was a very tender moment. And that's when they kind of both got the.
Well, I mean, they were all up in each other's. They were all in each other's personal space.
I was expecting them to kiss. I was like,
I thought so too. I was like, he's about to push her against that wall.
And then right before things get heavy, Tyrion and
Cersei
show back up, and Cersei says, "Yeah, I'll help you guys. I'll send all of our banners with you north, and let's fight this thing."
Oh, but she a liar.
But speaking of which, let's transition to the last little bit.
So Cersei, I actually legitimately thought for about 5 seconds, I was
why you lie?
No. I actually thought, I was like, wow, that's character growth right there. I was like, because that to me, I was like, oh my god, if you could see that, like have the Lannister, and Unsullied and Dothraki and the North Bannermen all fighting side by side, all the different banners and colors fighting fighting the White Walkers.
That would be insane.
I'm like, you realize how freaking amazing that'd be? But then we find out that Cersei was just saying that all as a ploy because now she's getting, she has Jon and Daenerys and all them believing that there's going to be this neutrality, which what's great, though, is that leads into our next bit, is that she basically has lied now to them and said that she's going to support them, but she's actually going to go get the Golden Company in Braavos.
And that's why Euron actually left. She tells Jaime that the that Euron actually left is to go get the Golden Company from Essos and bring him here. And Jaime's just jaw on the floor, dumbfounded, like
He's like, you didn't tell me anything.
you didn't tell me anything, and B, did you see that thing out there? The thing almost killed you. This is about the living and the dead, not the living versus the living. And then she basically says, the monsters are real. Let them kill each other, and whatever's left, bring it on.
Well, remember he said that, and then Jamie's like, "What?" He's like, "So what?" So he's like, "You're either gonna have the White." He's like, "You're the White Walkers." Yeah, the White Walkers are either gonna kill us or the North and
everybody
and
we just betrayed is gonna come in and kill us.
We're hosed either way.
We lose either way. And then Cersei's about to give the Mountain the order to kill Jaime. And he looks her straight in the eyes and says,
"Call your bluff.
You're bluffing. I'm out of here." And he just walks away.
He's like, "F this."
And I think this is a good stopping point for part one.
Oh.
As Jaime is leaving, what do we see?
We see winter. Winter's here.
Snow falling in King's Landing.
Well, it's reached that far, but the biggest thing is that that I wanted to point out is that, remember, you had Jaime with all that information that he was that now he knows about the Golden Company and everything. He's writing to Winterfell. He's gonna tell Jon that basically, yeah, my sister's full of crap. Like, she told you that there was gonna be neutrality. So now they're gonna know that Cersei is not being honorable, and that she's.
You think that she's gonna come up from the south?
I don't so much say that she's gonna come up from the south, but I mean, it's probably an inevitability that she's gonna try to squash them. But they said that only thing she said was that she was going to use the Golden Army to reclaim the footholds in the south and all the kingdoms. But no, I'm just saying that Jaime is going to go and tell Jon. He's like, hey, she's lying. She's going to get the Golden Company, and they're going to come into Westeros, and now you're going to have to deal with the biggest, sellsword army that's ever existed on one end, and the North on one end. And now you're basically trapped because either way you go, you're going to have a force. Mm-hmm. And so that's a big deal.
And also, last bit to close it out, the Valonqar prophecy is now in full effect.
The what?
The Valonqar prophecy, the whole Maggie the Frog bit.
Oh, yeah.
So that's interesting, and I think that's it. That's it for part one, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is the end of part one. Stick around. We're going to have our part two coming up. Make sure to check it out. We're going to discuss the rest of the episode. We're going to break down, everything that happens in Winterfell.
The main event of the evening.
Right, we're going to discuss the big plot threads that happen at the very end of the episode and the cliffhanger ending. So make sure to tune in and watch that. And until the next time, see you guys later.
See you guys.
That's all for today's episode. Thank you guys for watching.
And be sure to like this video and subscribe.
And click the link in the description below to follow us on social media.
See you guys next time.